I assume everyone can hear me, right? Okay. Hello. Okay. Thanks for the thumbs up. Okay, we're starting short in 5 minutes. So today the session we're going to teach about listing creation and what are the other forms of creation, listing creation. So you guys can see the QR code there. Feel free to scan to have access to all the different resources out there on Amazon. So basically, I would say that treat the seller education resources right as a go-to when you just start. So have a rough understanding of what is required to do and summarization version of like what is needed on Amazon. Okay, without further ado, I'll just go into it. Feel free to put any questions if you guys have along the way. I'm unable to see it until alternate tab. Yeah. So important notice, all these are Amazon materials, so please do not share, take photos, post anywhere online, blah blah blah. Yeah, please take a look at it. So actually, we have Amazon live webinar on a weekly basis on covering different topics. So feel free to go to the website to actually take a look at it. Then for the Seller University content, under your Seller Central account at the left, once you click the drop down, right, go to Learn and Seller University. So from there, you can search on what you're interested to learn on. Okay. So today we're going to agenda is importance of listing and its 8 major components, listing creation demo, and other listing creation methods. Okay. I'll just say for the creation demo, right, it'll be a lot easier rather than I showing you, right? If you guys have a Seller Central account, you guys can just open it. Then I'll just do a walkthrough with it together, right? Then at least you can familiarize yourself with it. So the 8 importance of listing creation, I'll just go into it. So we have the top 4, which I personally think are the most important point in a good listing. Title, product image, bullet point, and description, because these are your your customer facing tools. So for the title, it will be actually usually we recommend it right to just be very simple, very clear cut. A person can just run through, understand your brand, what you are selling, the unique selling point, and who is targeted. Product images, we usually recommend it to be actually not say usually we recommend, I'll say must be clear, must be high definition, high quality, so that when a person hover over it, right, they can actually zoom in and look at a clearer picture of it. Because this also gives a impression of to the buyers, right, or the customers of the quality of the brand of the product itself. Anyway, bullet points is usually used to actually highlight maybe a material that you are using, the purpose or ingredient you are using, where you should put it at, so on and so forth. And description, just be a describe of like what this product is and so on and so forth lah. The bottom 8 will be an add-on, more about optimizing at a regular time with a search term. A plus and Premium A plus will be like added content to show the unique selling point of product in a more visionary perspective to understand what are the things that's required. Let's just say when you place the product at a certain area, maybe if you're selling groceries, a specific ingredient, right, you can share about like how, a recipe, the health benefits. Yeah. So browse note is actually the subcategories of the point, and the last will be brand name. So on a clearer picture of how it will look on the Amazon page, right, these are the essentials 8 components. So at the top, you can see brand name. So the brand for here actually looks Amazon Basic. So a full picture will actually fill 10 cups with water filter and a compatible Brita. So at the bottom will be your store. Yeah, so in general, I would say the title is, as you can see, glance, right, you already know what's the brand, what's the selling point of it. Basically, rather than 5 cup of water, someone need bigger, need more volume. They will buy a purchase a 10 cup. Then product images, clear high quality images which display when click on. So when someone click on, right, if it's high quality, they're able to see at a more zoom in version. And then the bullet points. Oh, can you all see my page now, which is the 8 major components of a component of a complete listing? Someone in the Q&A asked they're on a different slide. Okay, no comments. I'll go ahead. So you can see help buyers to make informed decisions while helping to build your brand. Quality of the main image significantly impacts the click-through rate, and concise, informative bullet points will help customers to learn about the product and understand its unique characteristics. Okay, so the eight major components of a complete listing. So product description. So supplements the bullet points with more specific detailed information that helps consumer imagine. So let's just say if you have A plus content, right, the product description will be hidden rather than words, right? You have pictures, you can put brand stories, more high quality image, a panel, and then which we'll go through later. So they can have at least a understanding or a vision about what is it, how it will look at maybe you're buying a furniture, you can actually imagine how it will look at a certain part of the house and so on and so forth lah. So this is what I was sharing the A plus and premium A plus content. So let's just say you can look at the kettle, right? You can actually share how it will look on your dining table, your kitchen top. Then you can share a little bit more details about the unique selling point of the product. So for this case, the kettle, one of the selling points, the auto shut off with boil dry protection. Yeah. So usually recommend for, let's just say you're selling a product, to show this product itself to create more of a imagination or vision of like how this product will look like in a person house, how it will look like when it's used. If you're selling things that requires multiple parts, right, you can show how many parts will be included in the shipping. So when a buyer purchase it, they can say like, hey, I'm supposed to expect 8 different things. I will know how this 8 looks like. And let's just say something is missing, they will also know. Yeah. So the next will be the 8 major components of a complete listing. The next will be a customer search. So next will be, this is where the search term is. On the left, right, your materials, your product guide, your style, your height, your width, right? All this is part of your listing creation. You should actually put it so that on the left, right, when the buyers are filtering down or shortlisting, right, they actually know and targeting what they are looking for, which chances are your product will turn up. Yeah, so one thing to take note is that this A plus content, there is a point system. So usually what we recommend is for everyone to be minimum B. So it's missing one core attribute, which is either has a search term, has less than 5 bullet points, has less than 3 images. These are more of the more common things that people are missing. So always take note of that. Then just always do a self check with the grade points here. You guys can just take a picture of this and use it for self-reference, or actually just go to any of our seller university content. Yeah. So just say this is a simple guide or roadmap as to how you do a creation. Yeah, do the image and a simple detail page, which goes to product title, search term, and then you attract internal external traffic and people purchase and order creation. Then what you want to achieve, right, is having a good quality product, and then you encourage repeated purchases. So one of the main things about having a complete listing is that the order volume comparison, one that is B to E, right, compared to A, right, is about almost 60% increase. So always check your listing and make sure everything is filled up accordingly, hoping to hit A. Okay, time to create a listing. Okay, so single upload, right, is very straightforward. Once you have your seller central, go to the top left, click the drop down under catalog, add product. So some of you guys might see that this page is slightly different as compared to the one that I currently have, because this is slightly the previous version. Currently now, I believe you guys will have like product ID, web page, but in essence, right after this page will be the same. So if you're selling a product not sold on Amazon, right, you can just click I'm adding a product not sold on Amazon. Next, you're going to this page. So for here, if you are creating a totally new product, right, please add the product ID, will usually be the global trade identification number. If you don't have it, right, please remember to get a GTN exemption from Amazon. You can proceed to list. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the pricing column and the price information for the primary market. The seller SKU is customizable, is for your own internal keepsake. Is just remember that. So this you can fill up to you, up to what you want. There's no guidelines for it. So your price, quantity, condition, new. So the fulfillment channel, right, I believe all you guys know. So fulfilled by Amazon is where you ship to our fulfillment center, and then Amazon will ship it to your customers within 2 business days. So for this, right, the moment you create the listing, you create the shipment plan, right, from the FBA. Once you ship to the fulfillment center, the inventory will be active and will be purchasable. So if you click I will ship this item myself, merchant fulfilled, this itself, right, will be where you have to fulfill the orders yourself once you receive an order from Amazon. Okay, so the good thing about Amazon is that depends on how many marketplaces you open at once, right? They're able to have a one-click synchronization, right, to all the product listing to multiple global marketplace. So let's just say today you're selling in the US, you want to sell to EU, UK. The moment you have those marketplace, everything set up, right, your listing itself, right, can also appear in those marketplaces. So, but do take note, right, that in whatever marketplaces that you're selling into, your product must reach that country or that marketplace's fulfillment center. So, an example will be if you're selling to the US, you have to ship one the product into US. You're shipping to Japan and EU UK. You have to ship it to the respective fulfillment center in Japan and also EU UK. So one thing to take that is currency conversion. There's currency differences, right? So in those sense, if you use the one-click synchronization, Amazon have their own FX rate and they automatically are converted for you. So always do take a check in that sense. Yeah. So next will be manage your inventory. So for manage your inventory, right, it's mainly for FBA sellers. The moment you create your listing, you click I will fulfill, Amazon will fulfill for me. When you go to manage inventory and go to send shipment, right, this will appear. So the next thing will come with like single and double variation and no variation. So in this sense, right, if you look at this, variation is known as the parent-child relationship, a group of products linked to each other based on size or whatever other variation that's in that category specifically. So for example, in this case, you are using a t-shirt. So if you can look at the double variation, there's size and color. So this is two variation. So in that sense, people can choose small, medium, large, and the different colors. So do take note, right, that the parent ASIN is actually a dummy ASIN. You don't have to put an image, anything there. Oh, sorry, you don't have to have a barcode for it in that sense. However, for the child, right, everything is an individual ASIN by itself. So it's great if like you have to put your own barcode, your different sizes, different images, so on and so forth. Oh, one thing to take note is that if you are listing for the first time with variation, on the product detail page, you will not see the listing combined as what you see in the image, right? Until they have an active listing. So once, let's just say you're doing FBA, your product has reached a fulfillment center, the variation will combine. Yeah. So example of single variation, double variation. Yeah, so single upload creating new product variation, right? If you can see, it's just a single variation type. You can choose the variation type and under color and size, right, it's totally customizable. So for example, if you don't like the color of like blue, you want to call it sky blue, you can just type in sky blue and add it in. If size, you can say Asian size L, European size M. It's totally up to you. Because at the next point, right, where you see here, there's the yellow box. This will be the inputs that you type in. So as I mentioned, contribution skill is totally customizable. It's up to you. However, if you are using a GTIN exemption, please leave the external product ID and ID type blank while fill in the offering condition type, your price and quantity. However, if you are using a barcode that you bought from GS1, be it UPC or EAN, so remember to just paste it in and then in the external product type under drop down, remember to click it. So let's just say you have sold on Amazon before or your product has already existed on Amazon. Just remember to copy paste the ASIN or type the ASIN and UPC out here and search for it. So condition depends on whether you're selling a new product on Amazon. Just once you paste it here, it appears. You under condition put new and click sell this product. Then for this, it's relatively simple. Just put your condition, your SKU, and your price and your quantity, whether you ship by FBA on a fulfilled channel. Then actually you are done already. So usually what we recommend is to once you create, always wait for 15 days, 15 minutes, not days, 15 minutes for it to be created. For translation, processing works or any other marketplace, for example, Japan in Japanese, EU be French, German, etc., etc. Usually give it 1 to 2 days for it to be translated by the system. So batch upload will be for only professional selling plans. Professional selling plan, ideal for adding multiple products with more customization. Is usually used by Excel. So if you always click I'm uploading a file to add multiple products, list a product in Amazon catalog or they are not currently in Amazon catalog. So for here you can choose uh, the nearest category or best suited for your product. In this shirt, you can just type t-shirt. So if you do take note right under the product type at the bottom, you can see that it's like the first one will be clothing, shoes, and jewelry, men clothing, shirt, t-shirt, right? So that is basically like the browse note. So let's just say you feel that you're selling more of a women t-shirt, right? So remember to click the third one. So best choose the most suitable one for you because this affects the searchability and the discoverability of your product. So next, select the marketplace and generate the template. In this case, we usually just recommend most of our sellers to start with Amazon.com first. So just click Amazon.com. Okay, this page might be a bit daunting at the start. Remember to just always have data definitions and template open side by side. So data definitions will specifically tell you, like for example, column DO, column B here, right? If you take a look, what has to be put in and what does it mean and what are the necessary information that you have to put in. So they also tell you what is optional and what is required. So just fill up based on that. Usually, we recommend you to just go for the basic one. Just fill up those that's required. Those that are optional is basically a more customization of like let's just say the kind of a weight, the kind of a height across the FBA, non-FBA, the product itself, and so forth lah. Okay, so as you can see, right, there's a lot of different customization, just that inventory available in US, CABR, handling time, quantity. So let's just say you do MFN, handling time takes how long? 2 days, 1 week, 1 month, and so forth. So once you are done, just remember to upload this file into the add product via upload tip, and just give it a couple of minutes to an hour. So let's just say for sellers who are doing like hundreds or thousands of SKUs, just note that it might take longer than a few minutes to an hour. So once you have uploaded, right, they will tell you that if there's an action required, what's the issue. Look at this, they'll let you know the error. And then if you go to the Excel, right, under the feed processing summary, they'll let you know, hey, which SKU in which column has an error and is blank and needs to be filled up. So these are just normal, typical error codes. Feel free to take a screenshot of it or take a picture, and this will help you along the way. One of the more common one, if you are facing, would be for example 5665, 5664, for example, right, which is brand related. So this one is like high chance your brand is not in the system or your GT exemption is not linked to your brand. So always take note of it. And the next one will be 8541. So some of our sellers has previously has started to list on Amazon before, but then that could be like few years back. They actually forgot like which attribute they have used for their listing, such as they previously, let's just say they're selling essential oil. They used to just call it a lavender, but then now they kind of like in a way upgrade their name to be, let's just say maybe a summer lavender smell or something. But then since they uploaded before, right, they have to match it and list it first before they can make changes. Because the lavender as the original uploaded listing, right, is inside the Amazon database. They have to uh, upload it first before they can make the change. So do take note of that. Yep. So take note, take a QR, scan this QR code. Sorry, forgot about the name. Scan this QR code, and then we'll give you what is a listing, preparations before uploading a listing, and how to upload listing and evaluate listing. So basically, I would say that this content is actually created by us, and then we really share like the best practices across, like just say, the whole Amazon, from our top sellers and what we recommend for you guys to follow. A bit dry, but just try to bear with it. Uh, basically just basically like studying like that. So yeah. So please can yeah. I think that's all. I will leave the time for our SP here will be Shivale. Is she here?
Yes,
Shivali.
I am. How are you?
Feel free to take over the thing. Thanks for joining. So just to share, Shivali, our service provider, working with Amazon. I'll just share with her, leave her the time for her to share more about herself and the company. Then we'll leave the
Amazing.
last 10 minutes for Q&A. Okay, thanks.
Sounds good. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen here. Hopefully, you guys can see it all right. Okay, so welcome to my session. It's the branding blueprint how you can achieve a higher return on investment in your Amazon business. So, I want to preface all of this by saying that nothing that is in this presentation is direct advice from Amazon, and Amazon is not liable whatsoever in connection with the use of this information. But a little bit about me, since Sean gave me the floor. I've been selling on Amazon since 2020. I have sold digital and physical products with multiple brands, and I'm also a Helium 10 brand evangelist. So, through Helium 10, I've been able to regularly offer strategic guidance to thousands of sellers, and I occasionally get to co host the most listened to podcast in the world for Amazon sellers, Serious Sellers Podcast, with over 100,000 monthly downloads. Now, I say all this to tell you I know a little bit of something when it comes to this topic here today. And here is why today's topic is important. Because as exciting as being a seller on Amazon is, especially through fulfillment by Amazon, you have the freedom to do what you want, where you want, and really make as much as you want through this business model, but it does come with its own challenges. And you really want to get ahead of the curve here as much as possible by setting yourself up the best as possible for success. So, with that being said, my goal here today is really going to be to help you walk away with knowledge and implementable strategies that are necessary to build a strong, profitable brand, maximize your ROI, as I said before, while leveraging Amazon's resources like A plus content. So, by the end of this, hopefully, you know how to create something that people can really trust time and time again in an efficient manner that will reap you rewards often. So, first, let's begin by understanding what exactly is a brand. Now, a lot of these logos will seem really, really familiar to you. And if not, at least one of them should look familiar to you. We have these companies doing stellar jobs branding, which is why we know exactly what these images mean. We know exactly what to expect when we're purchasing from them. And why is that? How do they build this? Well, that's a really broad question. So this goes into branding. And while this image says that it's a two-part series where one is more important than the other potentially, I actually disagree with that. I think you can argue that both are important. Building a brand is as much about what your customer is seeing as much as it is about what they're also experiencing and feeling. And you can build an unbeatable brand that leaves raving fans everywhere by getting these things right. And when I say right, I mean really taking the time to get clear on everything that's shown here in this slide. That means from what sort of experience you're going to deliver, who you're delivering your products to, your logo, your colors, your fonts, etc. And in doing this before you launch, in return, you're going to get certain perks. So, for example, you can get access to brand registry, which can help brand owners protect their IP. You can make sure that your product is protected, your contact, your content is protected. And then imagine just kind of logging in one day and seeing that there's new sellers on your listing that are selling counterfeits of your skincare products or your bath and body work products, and it's all under your brand name. So with brand registry, you can really quickly report that information, remove those counterfeit listings, ensure that your products are authentic, they are truly yours. So Amazon's quite proactive in this sense. You also get access to enhanced brand content. So in a brick and mortar store, you might have an employee that's kind of guiding you along through the store, right? Hey, what are you looking for today? But on Amazon, you really have to optimize the space that's given to you. That means really being very intentional about what's in your title and your bullet points and your images in your A plus content. Now, A plus content is really cool because it provides so much more space for your customer to actually go through. And you can add in things like rich text, images to improve customer engagement and customer rates discovery on Google. That's right. Yes, Google. So while A plus content is not indexed by Amazon specifically in the same way that ordinary product descriptions are, you can and should still include keywords that are relevant to your products because they will be indexed by Google, and that's just simply more external traffic for you. So then you have branded stores where you can build multi-page storefronts to showcase your brand and your products. You might just be starting off with one, and that is totally okay. I actually just launched a new brand as well, and there's only one product in there. But what's really cool is you can dive a little bit deeper. You can tell them about your brand story. Why did you pick this product? Why are you selling it? What perks are they going to get? What is the special features that really gives them, or gives you rather, the competitive edge? Then you have your marketing tools, which are access to advertising options like sponsored brands and display ads that feature your brand logo. We'll talk about this really briefly in just a moment here. But as it says on this slide, for branded stores, they do get access to a follow button, which then you can later use to engage with those customers for new product announcements and promotions as well. So if you're interested in really building a brand that has raving fans, that does give you return on investment, not just that first time that they buy the product, but later on as well, where even in the marketing tools section, maybe later on you can use the more targeted options, then this is something you really are going to want to leverage and tap into. Okay, let's move on to the next slide here. So by when you're talking specifically about A plus content, right? We briefly talked about wanting to include keywords. Well, how can you find those keywords? You will want to go into a tool like Cerebro, which is Helium 10's reverse ASIN keyword research tool. Again, guys, I'm not here to promote or pitch you these services. This is simply things that I do that hopefully you can also implement and see returns on. But I like to use Cerebro, which is a reverse ASIN keyword research tool. You can go in, input in your competitors' ASINs. So that's the Amazon Standard Identification Number, which you can find underneath product description. And by going in and clicking get keywords, you can actually use these filters to start narrowing things down, finding really relevant keywords, because you're not going to be able to put in 19,000 keywords into your listing. You're going to have a very limited space. But you can go in, begin creating different folders by using these different filters, do many searches, and then from there you can section it out. What do you want to put inside of your listing? Images, or inside of your description, inside of your A plus content, and then go from there. You can also this is just referencing the folders that you could create. You could have the top keywords where you have a lot of your competitors essentially utilizing the same keywords to generate revenue. You have some opportunity keywords where maybe not all of your competitors are using those keywords, but some of them are. And if you go in there, you might actually still be able to compete on them without spending too much. You have off Amazon keywords. Maybe you're looking at Google Trends or Pinterest Trends, or maybe you're scavenging through TikTok and finding different keywords. You have brand analytics, which is very specific to if you've branded and you have access to brand registry. You have frequently bought together keywords. How many of you guys have ever been on a product listing page and you scroll down, you see the frequently bought together? This is stuff that people are buying in the same cart. So keywords that are associated to that might be parallel audiences. People who are interested in, say, a beauty blender are the same people interested in mascara. So it just really is niched down items. Then you have historical trends, and I'm going to get into this, so I'm just going to keep it moving along. But there is so much that you can really do by using a tool that is going to give you access to that keyword information, because then you can really go in and incorporate it into your A plus content here, which is again a perk that you get when you are branded. So search volume is great for indicators. This is just kind of walking through a bit of the filters. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. What I do want to emphasize is if you are utilizing Cerebro, you can always hover over the eye icon, which is going to tell you basically in 1 to 2 sentences what that filter does. And the best way, in my opinion, to learn is by doing hands-on practice. So make sure you go in and you test it out for yourself. That's how you'll learn. Word count is great for longer tail keywords. When you're looking for A plus content keywords that you want to incorporate maybe for Google, you're going to want to find things that are a little bit longer in keywords, because if you're just browsing for kitchen, well, that's very, very broad. You want to go a little bit more specific. So maybe you're looking for a white coffee coaster cup, white marble coffee coaster cup. That's a little bit longer. There's more words involved, but that's also a person who knows what they want. And so you're now going to be pitching to a more warm audience. You have your sponsored rank count and average. These are all in pairs that you're seeing here: sponsored rank, competitor rank, and Amazon recommended rank. And you'll see that it's a count and an average. And the count references how many of those ASINs, whereas the average references the position. So if I put in like a minimum of 2 for count, sponsored rank count, it's saying at least a minimum of 2 of these 7 ASINs that we have in this example are ranking somewhere on average between positions 1 and, let's say we inputted 30 as a max for sponsored rank average. That's what it would be telling me. You have the same thing for the organic for competitor rank and ranking competitors. And then for Amazon recommended, that's simply these are keywords that Amazon recommends that you might want to actually list or rank for. And so you can incorporate all this information into your A plus content as well as your listing. ABA is going to be only accessible to you if you are brand registered and you have your token connected to Helium 10. But in doing so, you can really sift through data, which is really cool, because then you can go in and say, I want to find products that have 60% click share or 80% click share. A lot of people that are typing this keyword in are specifically clicking into these top 3 products. However, maybe I have a max for 10% conversion share. Well, not a lot of people that are clicking into those products are actually buying. And so then you can kind of use that data to guide your strategy, your marketing strategy later on. Historical trends. This is really cool for A plus content, because if you actually go, this is still on Cerebro. If you just scroll down a bit underneath those filters, you'll find this. And you can click show historical trend and actually maybe reference back. Let's say you're preparing for launching your product in December or November. You can actually look back and take a look at maybe November or December of last year for your competitor products. And then maybe you want to do a drop down for keyword types or toggle into products. And you can select organic or paid and then actually click apply. And it's going to then showcase to you those filtered keywords for that given time frame. And now you can use specifically those keywords that were doing well in November or December in your A plus content in your listing. So depending on when you're launching, I do recommend that you go in and you utilize the historical trends feature if you have access to it. So A plus content you can build yourself. I built mine myself. I like to do a lot of stuff DIY to keep costs low, and because I feel like I myself am a creative. If you're not a creative, that's totally okay. You can hire out. But A plus content is quite easy to make inside of Canva, which is just an additional resource I use on top of Amazon, on top of Helium 10. And coolest of all is you can reference Amazon's requirements, basically the custom sizing that they require, and then just go in, select the template that you're interested in, and start replacing out the content. So the images that you have taken or maybe that you got shot by somebody else, you can go in and incorporate in your brand fonts, which we'll talk about in just a moment here, and then switch out those brand colors as well, so everything is very cohesive and people can automatically recognize which brand you're referencing. So I always like to make a lot of variations. You can go in and uh, from there, after you have the variations, go in and actually run a poll. If you don't want to do audiences, that's up to you. But I've even ran, like initially, I was running polls on just my social channels. But the issue with running polls on a social channel, and again, this is still really, really useful. I do recommend, why not, right? Get the additional feedback. But when you're using a tool like audiences, you're talking more directly to an audience that would be interested in purchasing your items. And so they know a little bit more about the niche, what to look for, what not to look for, and they can give you real advice and feedback on your market. So you can use a tool like Helium 10's audience to pull for conversions as well. Make sure that you have your keyword tracking on inside of Helium 10 to make sure that you know where you're ranking for these things, and even just monitor as time goes on. Okay, let's go back to branded stores. This was the second piece after A plus content I mentioned. And so if you are a brand and you are brand registered, then instead of something like this, where somebody was clicking into the brand and then they're seeing something like this instead, you'll actually end up being able to click into that storefront and get something more like this. This looks a lot more professional. And this is what we want, especially if you care about your profit margins, because a premium feel will translate to a premium profit, right? And going in, you can have maybe multiple products, or maybe you're just launching with the one. Again, go back and use brand story, or just tell your story of why people should purchase. Highlight your features, and you can build a lot of these images that you're seeing here inside of Canva as well. Of course, as I mentioned, you unlock sponsored brands, sponsored display ads, amongst other things. And sponsored brand ads are the ads that feature a brand logo, the custom headline, maybe multiple products to drive brand awareness and sales. And you can really promote your brand identity and product lines. So here's an example. It's above all the stuff that you're seeing at the very top is because I have the Helium 10 Chrome extension installed. But if you don't have it installed, you'll just see that the products are just a little bit bigger. And yeah, this is really cool because when you're typing something in, it's at the very top above all of the other products. Whereas sponsored display ads, you're going to see that it's going to let you target audiences both on and off of Amazon, and it's going to let you appear on Amazon's homepage, across the web, on any of Amazon's advertising networks as well. So this is a great place for you to re-engage with people that maybe previously showed interest in your products or similar products. One of my favorite parts about being brand registered is having access to brand analytics, which I just mentioned in Cerebro, so I won't spend too much time on this right here. But it does give you access inside of Cerebro to the historical information for the top 3 clicked ASINs, for the click share, conversion share, and search frequency rank. And so these are the sort of things that you can start looking at and figuring out whether or not you want to focus more on ranking for a specific keyword or not ranking for a specific keyword, what you want to include as part of your PPC campaigns. Or maybe you take a look at this, and I've sometimes looked at this and you see that the sponsored rank is amazing. It's stellar. It's like 1 or 2 position. And then organic rank is really low, but they're still making all the sales. So at that point, you could say, okay, I don't necessarily need to rank organically for a given keyword. I just need to run ads. And you can go in, make that exact match campaign, and start generating sales. So really, you can take a look at this, look at your brand dashboard, your brand analytics inside of Cerebro, and use it to guide your decisions. And as you launch, you can also build trust as well as traffic by being brand registered, because then you get increased visibility in sales due to these additional 2 things, which is Amazon Vine program and Amazon's transparency. So Amazon Vine is basically, let's say that you just launched, you have 0 reviews. Well, what the heck are you going to do? Because you want social proof, right? And social proof comes when there's reviews or when there's other people talking about it. So that's a 2-piece thing. But Amazon Vine, what you can do is you can even merge the variation listings. I'm actually going to skip forward here a little bit. So you have the Vine program, which you can enroll into. You'll need a professional selling account. You'll need to be FBA fulfilled. Excuse me. And you will also be able to enroll up to 200 products at a time. But for any given product, you can only provide up to 30 free units to be reviewed. So let's say you have 5 reviews already, then you can enroll 25 units and get the 25 reviews instead. So it's up to 30 reviews. And then other requirements are just you have to give that product away for free. It can't be an adult product. You must have already launched by the time that you're enrolling this product. You have to have available inventory, and then your listing has to have images and description. There's certain fees associated, but I recommend that you go in and take a look and see if this is something you want to do. If you have multiple variations that you are launching, you can actually go in and enroll different variations into the Vine program. So let's say you have blue, pink, and green for a given product. You can do 30 each maybe, and then start merging that listing together so you have more reviews. So you can, in fact, combine ACE and variations, and this is how it will look once you have a Vine review. Then it's indicated in the reviewer section as well, which is really, really cool. Okay, and then you have Amazon transparency. So this is just to help create a more consistent experience and an authentic one because you can enroll your codes and make sure that your product is truly yours as well. So there's a brief run through right there. I'm going to skip forward because I have so many slides for you guys. Of course, all of this, plus it makes it easier to launch later on because you'll begin with an audience if you have taken the time to really create the fans and you've made use of something like a product insert. So as you're expanding out your line, let's say from a kids accordion, you've expanded to a professional accordion, or maybe you went from launching a wooden storage Ziploc organizer bag. I don't remember the exact keyword for this, but let's say from a wooden section, you've gone to a plastic section. You can capitalize on the audience that you already have by using something like a product insert. And you can do that by using something like portals. So going in, it's really, really easy. You can literally build this out in 5 minutes, but this would be included in with your product as long as you are really careful. Make sure you guys review Amazon's guidelines because they are always changing. But as long as you're not swaying reviews and it's meant to really add to the customer experience. So for instance, you are teaching them how to use the product better or you are providing to a more positive experience for the customer, then it's okay. But you can use a QR code, maybe have the instructional video or whatever the case may be, and later on use that information that you capture to open up the option to have tailored messaging. You can here create newsletters, you can section out your customers based on interest, clicks, conversations that you have, really work on building that trust inside of your brand and then go multi-channel with it. So you don't always have to just focus on your products. You can even capitalize on Amazon affiliate links. This is going to really widen that return on investment for you. So now you can begin, and this is an example from one of my drip email marketing campaigns. So not my drip email marketing campaigns. This is from one of my courses that is included as an add-on, like a bonus add-on for one of my products. But you can hike your profits this way, and you can capitalize on other products that are in the same niche that are still on Amazon. So you're helping Amazon make money, and you're making a little bit of commission by sharing things that will help boost that customer experience for your customer. When you're launching the second time around, you can also go to the product targeting tab for Black Box and check out what people are buying to essentially widen out that product line that you have. So back to branding, we've talked about why it's important. Let's talk about how you can make it strong. So nomenclature, if you don't have a brand name yet, I've this is just my process. I've gone into Namelix before, used it for a creative start. You can also use ChatGPT now. Literally just ask it questions. This is what my product is. I'd like some ideas. Can you provide 50 options or 100 options? And go in and use that as a starting point. Then you want to check if it's available on different platforms. Obviously, when you're building a brand, it's not just going to be strictly on Amazon. You're going to want to really go wide with it. You want to cast a big net. So go in with Facebook or whichever platforms you really want to be in. You can add in your brand name and check whether it's available across platforms. And then from there, you start getting into the whole color psychology. So um, think about what you want to really emulate for your brand. Do you want to have red, orange, yellow? I even like to go into media comparison inside of Listing Analyzer from Helium 10, and you can take a look at all your competitors. What are they doing for their images? And then from there, let's say everybody is using red and pink. Well, you know that if everybody else is using red and pink, you can probably stand out really well if you use a different color. And so start thinking about this from different angles. Do you want to focus on the feeling? Yes, absolutely. But also check out how you can capture your customers' attention from the get-go by standing out from a color standpoint as well. You can also take a look at review insights. I did this for this product, went in, took a look at what colors people were really gravitating towards. So inside of review insights, you have the variation tab, which is going to give you your review share distribution. As you can see, the black one right here is 32%, descending into 2%, but pink and black are pretty tight, uh, neck to neck almost. And so I went with that for my brand color. It was a very light neutral shade, but the brand itself is very much about enhancing what you already have and being really minimalistic, very elegant. And so I went with almost a little bit lighter shade and then went consistent across my logo, my paper sleeve, as well as even on the product itself. So you have it actually created. And same thing applies for your products. You want to keep it consistent across your websites, across your logo, across your brand colors, as well as on your product. And obviously, our goal as sellers is to amplify the market share. So I use a tool like Market Tracker to make sure that I'm constantly moving up as I'm using these other branding tools. And you can always amplify market share by doing that with even more social proof and online share. So you can use a tool like Canva to help you get really clear, first of all, on your branded work. So if you have premium Canva, then as you can see on my left-hand paneling right here, it says brand voice and or actually it's brand kit, and then you have all of this. So you have the logos, colors, fonts, brand voice, photos, graphics. You can input that in. And so every time you're going in, Canva actually has access to all that information and can quickly help you create branded content. And this is useful for influencers as well. I've worked with influencers who sometimes ask me, hey, do you have a brand kit or a brand portfolio? And I can just reference this to them as well to create really strong branding that then is going to give you that third party traffic onto Amazon as well, which Amazon loves. So build your empire fast. I'm gonna try to speed it up. I know I'm like probably over on time here, but just try to speed through these last 3-4 minutes here. Build your empire fast. We live in a cool era where you can chuck a lot of the heavy lifting out of the door. So when we're talking about branded content outside of Amazon, obviously we talked really briefly about A plus content, your branded store, all that good stuff. But the third party platforms, that's a lot of work, especially if you are running the show by yourself or maybe just with a partner or a few partners. You still have quite a bit of work that is going to require some consistency. So, what you can do is use some AI, but if you put garbage in, garbage out is typically the principle that you'll find. And so I use a lot of prompt engineering. I'm super passionate about this because this will help you really cut down on time and increase your return on investment. So you can go ahead and begin a conversation with ChatGPT basically. So you go in, you feed it a lot of information. Hey, this is the product that I'm launching. This is all the stuff that I'm going to need to create. Please ask me as many questions as you deem necessary to provide the most customized information to do these tasks as best as possible. As you can see, ChatGPT gave me a bunch of different questions. And from there, you just answer them and fill it back in. Copy and paste all of that into a Google document. And here's where it gets really cool because once you've fed it all this information, I've gone through and I'm just going to skip this, but you can have as much conversation as possible. You can feed it your voice, you can feed it different emails that maybe you've received in the past that you really like, and use it to create digital content, all that stuff. But I like to copy and paste the information over, and this is even about blog posts, but you can copy all that information over. And if you have premium chat GPT, what you can do is configure a chat GPT to be your personal assistant. So you can go in, and when you're in chat GPT on the left hand side, it'll say explore, and then you'll click plus create. And then you go into configure and actually just name your workstation, your virtual assistant, what it's going to do, and then you can upload that Google Doc. So that's why I told you to copy and paste all the information that you talk to ChatGPT about into a Google Doc, and then save it as a PDF and upload it. So now every time you're going back in, you can actually always go back into your branded workstation. So every time that I want to do something, I'll take this, go into my workstation that I created, and say, okay, now I can do really basic queries, write an email copy reminding people on why going through this course is important. Or you can do something like a blog post. We're talking about branding stuff. Yeah, you can you can have your branded website and then have a blogging section because that's going to really kick into the SEO content. So let's say we're talking about beauty here, but let's say you were running a pet supply store. You can have a pet supply store site, and then maybe have a blogging section where in the blogging section you are using a workstation like this to quickly go in and maybe input in your Amazon affiliate, listing that you're interested in promoting, as well as include your product information and feed it. Paste it in and say, I want a blog post that tells me that these are the top 10 products you should own for the pet supply market. And it'll go in and literally draft a blog post for you. So now, once you have the workstation built, then you can go in and just quickly give it really mini queries. So you'll have endless mini assistants. You can do this for any platform for external marketing, and it gives you all the efficiency. You can even bulk create branded Instagram and Pinterest posts. I mean, I want to create 50 Instagram and Pinterest graphics. Each one uses a reminder style template. I need 50 affirmations. So then I went into Canva and found a template that I liked. So this is the reminder style template. That's why I wrote that. But I just need this one phrase. And maybe I'm doing something that is just like a feel good product. Maybe it's like a water bottle with a nice manifestation, tag on the actual bottle itself. So I want to do positive affirmations because people would love the mentality stuff in that niche. So then I can go in, just paste everything ChatGPT gave me. Oh, by the way, that's bulk create in the left hand side of Canva. So below, you'll click bulk create, enter data manually, and then you'll just paste what ChatGPT gives you and click done. So it'll let you connect the data once you select which field you want it to be inputted into. And then when you click apply, you'll have 50 different posts created. Now, all of them do look the same, but imagine you do this like 4 or 5 times in different templates, and then you just alternate throughout the week. Like you have so much content that's quickly created because of that. So, okay, I'm totally way over time here. So I'm going to close out with that really. There's additional stuff here. You have YouTube content, you have Amazon posts that you can do. But guys, there's just so much that you can do with branded content. And by building a really killer brand, you'll have access to a lot of really cool Amazon features that will protect your brand, that will create raving fans, that'll give you the return on investment. And there's so much more that you can do just from an external standpoint as well, using Canva, using Helium 10, using ChatGPT to quicken the process of how you pump out your branded content to drive external traffic to your Amazon listing as well. So this is my LinkedIn. If you guys have any questions that I don't get to because I ran out of time here today, feel free to connect with me there and just ask any questions you'd like.